stats, we want to make sure that we focus in this order: haste, versatility, mastery, and then crit. Haste, of course, being important as it does help our rune regeneration, which equals more damage. Versatility, of course, increases our damage and decreases the damage that we take. Mastery coming in at a close third, increasing the shadow damage that we deal. And then, of course, our least important stat, critical strike. It does, pump out some big numbers. Everybody loves to see big numbers, but that's just not how Unholy plays. We focus on a lot of smaller numbers, pumping out necrotic strikes, our dots, so on and so forth. So crit is not important for us. In this order: haste, versatility, and mastery. For the talents, we're going to focus on Infected Claws, Ebon Fever, Asphyxiate, Soul Reaper. Level 75 tier really starts to where you can mix things up against caster comps, whether you see a lot of casters in your battleground or in the arena you're in. You can go with Spell Eater. Otherwise, if you're going up against a lot of melee comps, especially in arena or in a BG, for most time in BGs I play with Spell Eater, but in battlegrounds you can also use Wraithwalk, and even more so when you run into melee comps in arena, going with Wraithwalk. Death Pact, use this a lot in BGs, especially in duels. Really good heal, but in arena you'd want to kind of stay away from it as it causes issues in the later game. When you start getting into dampening and there's less healing coming in and stuff like that, just it can really mess with your healer, especially in 3s. Level 90 tier, I'll go with Epidemic. Really your only choice here. It's good AoE damage, not something you're going to be touching very often, but it can interrupt healers from being able to get a drink as long as you have your plague on the target. Level 100, Unholy Frenzy, just another really strong cooldown. For the PvP talents, I go with Gladiator's Medallion, as I am a gnome, because I wanted that the ability to get out of root effects with Escape Artist. Your other 3, I always lock Raise Abomination and Necrotic Strike. If you have the essence for Necrotic Strike, you can of course play with something else here. Some of the more viable ones to play with are Transfusion, of course, Dark Sim and Anti-Magic Zone if you're playing against casters. If you're not playing against casters, of course, you can go with Necrotic Aura, Decomposing Aura. A usual setup if you have the Necrotic Strike Essence from PvP, which is really easy to get. Just got to do your first cap and you will get it. But if you don't, always take Necrotic Strike and Raise Abomination, then you can play around with your third Essence depending on what you're going up against. I mean your third PvP talent. If you have the Necrotic Strike Essence, you can play with Necrotic Aura and then Decomposing Aura. This is usually a pretty strong lineup here. And once again, if you're a human and you already have the ability to get out of stuns and stuff, you can play with Relentless. But yeah, guys, talents, that's the pretty much the cookie cutter spec to go with. That's all you really need to know as far as that goes. And of course, just playing around with your PvP talents if you're going up against casters, Anti-Magic Zone, Dark Sim. And of course, that is if you have your Necrotic Essence. I can't stress that enough. If you do not, make sure you go Necrotic Strike. Okay guys, for the rotation, super simple. We're going to want to make sure to maintain our Plague on the target through Outbreak. We are going to Festering Strike to put Festering Wounds on the target. And then we're going to either consume those with Scourge Strike or Necrotic Strike. You're afraid of the target receiving healing, you're going to Necrotic Strike. If not, and you just want to pump out as much damage as humanly possible, Scourge Strike. In the process, we're going to be gaining a resource called Runic Power, which will be in the blue bar below your health bar. You will consume that with Death Coil for damage, or you can consume it with Death Strike for healing. So as you can see here, we're going to go up, apply Outbreak, which is going to get Virulent Plague on the target. We're going to Festering Strike to get Festering Wounds on the target. And then from there, we're going to use Scourge Strike just to consume those Festering Wounds and pump out damage. And of course, Death Coil to consume our Runic Power. So for the burst, not a whole lot changes outside of using your cooldowns. Main thing is we're going to maintain our Plague. We're going to have at least 4 stacks of Festering Wounds. Right now we got 6. What we're going to do is we're going to enrage our pet through Dark Transformation. We're going to pop Apocalypse, Unholy Frenzy, And if you have, since you're going to be in a PvP situation, you would also use your Raise Abomination there. From there, we're just maintaining our Plague, using Scourge Strike or Necrotic Strike to consume our Festering Wounds, using our Runic Power to pump out Death Coils, and easy peasy. That's all it is, guys. I know Unholy Rotation can seem kind of daunting when you first start playing it, but I promise you, super easy. All you're doing is maintaining your Plague, building up Festering Wounds, consuming those Festering Wounds with Scourge Strike or Necrotic Strike, and then expanding with Death Coil or Death Strike. But yeah, guys, that's it for the basic rotation as well as your burst.